What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today when I talk to you about Lucid, I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data points, Monday and Tuesday is going to be more dedicated to each and every stock's independent technicals. So in Lucid's case, yeah, there's been some consolidation over this last little bit, but for the most part, it has stayed in the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band. I'll kind of move that so you can see it. So I think in general, yes, there's been a lot of downtrend, but even if you think about it, over this last 1 month, it is still up 28.72%. So at least it's moving in the right direction. So Monday and Tuesday is going to be largely linked to that. You'll also have a lot of consumer linked data. So that's kicking off on Wednesday, ADP non-farm employment, 166,000 the forecast. And then that is followed by Friday, non-farm payroll of 177,000. So Powell has really kind of looked at consumer data such as that very closely. And speaking of Powell, you have the interest rate decision. So that is at 2 o'clock on Wednesday. Right now, it is fair to assume that there won't be any change because there is a 95.3% likelihood of nothing happening. If you're one of those very optimistic people in life, there is a 4.7% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut. Very low likelihood, so take that for what you will. But I think rather what Powell does say afterwards, that's going to really kind of make it or break it, shake the broader market, because if he comes in hawkish, like the next two meetings, so September 18th and November 7th, are kind of projecting back-to-back rate cuts, 25 basis points each. So if he comes in somewhat hawkish or says that we're just going to be monitoring the data, that might really affect that. And in my opinion, I feel just in the whole EV sector and just the broader market has already priced in two back-to-back rate cuts. So in essence, if he comes in hawkish, that might cause a lot of volatility, but not for the positive. It might actually pull it down. So something to kind of keep in mind near the tail end. So most likely on like Thursday, Friday, you'll probably have some FOMO kicking into Lucid's earnings. That's been kind of the similar scenario to what has happened in the last two earnings. There's been a nice run up, but we'll just have to wait and see based on their numbers to see what they come out with. But there's this that did come out, this article a couple days back. So it says Lucid CEO tests Rivian R1S, and it does say that he's not worried on the gravity competition. So his level of confidence is amazing. I got to give him a round of applause, and he's been doing and putting himself out there. So I think they've really revamped their marketing. So doing a lot of interviews, podcasts, and whatever else. But like I said, a lot of that does insinuate that he's confident with their numbers. If Lucid comes out with their Q2 numbers and it is a flop, it is going to make him and Lucid look like an idiot. So I think Peter's a very smart man. I don't always agree with him all the time, but for the most part, I know that he wouldn't really be putting himself and Lucid out there in this kind of fashion if he wasn't confident with the numbers, nor if he wasn't confident with the gravity. So I think that is a good indication that maybe their numbers might be good. We'll just have to wait and see. This is the tentative numbers right here. So over the last 90 days, there's been 2 positive revisions from analysts and 4 negative. And negative 26 cents is the earnings per share estimate. 188.13 million is the revenue. So something to kind of consider. As far as kind of events for this upcoming week, you have it at the Sapphire at the Oak Brook Center. You also have it right here, the Gravity at the Sherry Creek Studio. So just more showcasing and stuff like that. So I think Lucid's doing the right thing, a lot more events. And one negative is if you actually look on their Twitter page, there's a lot of other events that they do kind of hold and host, but they don't really put it on here. So I wish there was some good, they've made improvements. I got to give them that, because sometimes they didn't even update this site right here, but there still is some room for improvement on a side note. And when it comes to, for instance, Powell speaking on Wednesday, shorts will definitely double down. So shorts on Friday kind of awoke. So as you can kind of see over this last little bit, shorts have been randomly returning quite a lot of shares. So it kind of was at the peak of 32.21, and right now it's sitting at 27.35. On Friday, shorts did increase 2.55 million shares. They wanted to ensure that Lucid was not going to close above 350 because there was, if we pop over here, roughly around 10,000 in open interest for the call options. So if it was to close at 350 or above, then market makers would have to go to kind of the secondary market to buy roughly 1 million shares. They didn't want to do that. An easier way is just to manipulate it down through shorts. So if Powell, for instance, this upcoming Wednesday is hawkish, anticipate shorts to be very, very active. Right now, utilization 91.67, short score 91.56, and through IBKR, it does indicate 0 shares is available. So definitely it's going to be a very interesting week. A lot of people are speculating that Lucid is going to squeeze. I saw some crazy price targets. Some people think it's going to be like $60. Realistically, I think if their earnings is good and goes according to plan, we will probably see around that 450. On the flip side, I think it could be roughly around that 250 range to maybe $3. All depends on what they give for future guidance and yeah, what the bottom line numbers do truly say. Because yeah, a lot of people are going to be looking through their earnings with a fine-tooth comb because Lucid supposedly has been trying to cut expenses quite a lot over this last several quarters. And if things aren't going to meet Wall Street's expectations, then of course that's going to be seen as a negative. So it's going to be a lot of volatility. You can tell that based on just the options as well. Implied volatility is at least like 30% in either direction. So I think this is going to be the most volatile earnings of them all. So just kind of anticipate that. I did do a video under my Lucid dedicated channel, and that is about options. So if you guys haven't already, pop over there. It's very basic stuff, just buying and selling calls and puts, but it could be very beneficial and profitable if you kind of dabble with it a little bit, especially with Lucid's earnings coming right around the corner. And when it comes down to this week, looking at some of the technicals, to quickly go into the 4 hour. So right now with it at $3.38, it is trading between this S2 and this S1. So 343 will be that next strong resistance / target, which on Friday, I do feel like Lucid was manipulated down, so it potentially could even touch this first thing on Monday, so this S1, and then this $3.25 will be the strong support, but it wasn't even tested on Friday, so I do feel like there will be more of a recovery potentially on Monday, so we'll just have to wait and see. But this upcoming earnings is going to be a crazy roller coaster, could go in either direction, so make sure you guys do your own due diligence and have cash available if it does dip, just so you can average down if that's your thing, or if not, then whatever floats your boat. You guys do whatever you see as justified. But at the same time, Lucid right now looking at stochastic is at 37, so arguably considered oversold. So if they do have some good news, whether it be Powell, Lucid puts it out themselves, or from their earnings, you will see a rush of value investors getting in. And right now, looking at the momentum indicator, you do see number of retail have been getting out, so maybe just taking profits or whatever else. So if you have been selling Lucid, let me know in the comments why, and are you planning on buying it because you feel like, or did you sell because of maybe earnings, or do you think that just the economy is going to be trending down? Like, what's your kind of thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. One final thing, take advantage of this promo. Only a couple days left. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.